I'm a man. I'm 40.
Well, I'm the best corner in the game. When you try me with a sorry receiver like Crabtree, that's the result you're going to get.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
If you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
I mean, listen, we talking about practice.
Welcome everybody to the our third Heat Check production. This one is we're just rolling. I was last night. This came about last night. I was watching the Portland versus Houston basketball game that happened, and Lillard hit the thing that what happened, and I may have had a few adult beverages in me.
Dude just did this?
Did this dude just did this? John Starks, the iconic. I may have had a few adult beverages in me, and I may have sent out a text that said Heat Check Productions tomorrow morning immediately. So this is where we're at. This is recording. What is this? What's today? Saturday. What about 3 o'clock? 3 o'clock, middle of the country time.
Yep.
Here with Ryan, as per usual, and Chris, our local Portland correspondent. And I'm gonna just go ahead and throw it to you. I heard an interesting story before we went live with this thing. So tell the folks out there what our local Portland correspondent had an interesting night last night. Let's hear what you got to say.
So yeah, I was mainly watching the Houston-Portland game, like probably just about everybody else in the Portland area. Ended up falling asleep on my couch during the fourth quarter and woke up to Kenny Mayne telling me that Portland had won and they were just getting ready to show the highlights on the first SportsCenter right after the game. So I missed the shot by like a minute.
Unbelievable. How do you miss it? How do you do that? How does that even happen?
I believe it must be hereditary. My dad does that all the time.
See, I mean, I'm also
and like somebody's interested in watching too. It's just like he falls asleep for no apparent reason.
See, I'm a guy who enjoys his naps and enjoys a good nap in the middle of the day. So I've been prone to like falling asleep and not waking up until like 10 o'clock at night and then being like, there goes Tuesday. But dude, what? How do you fall asleep watching that game of all games? The most exciting game of all time. You fall asleep.
I have no clue.
Jesus. Well, you missed a hell of a shot. For those that are living under a rock, or you can't hear or see anything.
Which means you can't hear us anyway right now. So.
Right. For those Helen Kellers out there, Damian Lillard that was the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
And then that was the coolest thing I've ever seen. And then the second coolest thing, if you haven't seen it, go find the Vine of the court side where you can see Lillard come around, clap for the ball 3 times.
How awesome was that?
You hear the horn, and then you just hear the explosion.
Oh, that is like, yeah, check that out if you haven't seen that Vine.
That's the closest I'll ever get to sitting courtside in an NBA playoff game.
I'll try tweeting that out on the Twitter.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, that was awesome. You know what was so cool? My favorite part, like you just said it. Well, my favorite part of that whole thing was he was clapping. He was like
exactly. He's like, give me the ball. If you inbound it to anyone else, I'm going to cut you.
95% of people in the NBA, 95% of players don't want any part of that shot, or they do, but it's like they don't think that they're gonna make it.
Yeah.
Lillard was like getting frustrated because he's like, I'm going to just give me the ball. Like the biggest game of your life, you're just so like just determined to take that shot. That's mad. Lillard is.
Damian Lillard is my favorite player, not named Kevin Durant.
I'm naming my son Damian. I decided that last night.
You want to set up a little Ryan's bad joke?
Yes, absolutely. What do I need to do?
They ought to call him Damian Lizard because he's cold-blooded.
No, that wasn't anything. That was nothing. I'm not supporting that. Wait, all right.
Not getting the stamp of approval?
So, no, absolutely not. Does he have a nickname yet? I know we talked about this last time, but I feel like now more than ever.
I still like Thrillard.
I saw Sub-Zero Like the Mortal Kombat character? That's kind of cool.
Yep.
I kind of like that.
I don't know.
I don't know if that'll stick, though.
I don't know. I think Damian Lillard's just a good name. You can't really nickname that.
You're right. That is a good point. Lillard is just kind of like a cool last name.
It's kind of like Durant. Like, when you say Durant, you know what you mean.
Right. Oh, I think that I think it works. Like if you're going to be a great player, you can't have like a lame name. I think that actually like Mike Scott on the Hawks, he's never going to be a good player. If you told me a guy named Mike Scott was playing in the NBA, I'd say he was like an assistant ball boy. Like, you need a cool name, you know what I mean?
No, you know what? You know what Mike Scott would be? He'd be like an assistant coach to somebody or something.
Yeah, you're right. He wears like a gray suit.
And he wouldn't even be like an assistant coach that's important. He'd be the one like handing the guy the clipboard every like timeout.
Yeah, he'd be the one that stands next to. Yeah.
And like who has what fouls and that type thing.
Yeah, he's the guy that keeps track of the center's fouls. That's his job. That's Mike Scott's hypothetical assistant coach's job.
Which I believe that means that he should probably go work for Mark Jackson wherever Mark Jackson's coaching next year.
Yeah, let's start off with that. Jermaine O'Neal, did you see that quote? It was like Jermaine O'Neal said, "I don't think our coach is coming back." Like, dude, you're about to play Game 7. What are you throwing your coach under the bus for? Like, what is that?
I don't know. I mean,
why does that situation? I mean, you're a Warriors fan, Chris. Why does that situation seem so weird? Like, what is so weird about that? Like, do you know? Do you have any inside info? I mean, I know you probably fell asleep when someone was trying to tell you about it.
It sounds like everything that's going on in there is kind of like a soap opera at this point.
Yeah, like why? Why? Do you know why? Is there like a reason?
Besides the fact that I don't think Mark Jackson really knows exactly how to run a team, which that might just be it, because he just doesn't exactly know what it takes to run an entire team. But it just seems like everything that's happened down the stretch of the season is just him like showing that he's totally over his head. He had like one assistant coach that was reassigned for who knows what reason. That was Scalabrine that all the big men liked because he would bang with them in practice, and now they don't have anybody to do that with.
Well,
and then they fired their other. Yeah, then they fired their other assistant coach because he was caught recording a conversation, and then apparently that was fireable for any team in the league, is what the Warriors News said. And then 2 weeks later, he gets hired as an assistant GM for Boston. So
what is he? I don't understand it. And it's funny because it's like it's such a "what have you done for me lately" type of thing. Because what have the Warriors ever done ever in the history of ever done? Nothing. And now they win 54 games, and all of a sudden they want to get rid of their coach. I don't know. That seems weird to me. That seems like irresponsible almost. What is going on? Is there like a wind blowing? Do you hear that?
I do not.
I have my fan, and I'm going to turn it off to see if that helps.
What is that? It's like we're on a ship. We're doing this live podcast from a ship, the SS podcast. We're on the SS podcast right now. We're at sea. So if the connection's bad, it's because we're in the middle of the sea.
Yeah.
So who's winning tonight in that Clippers? Do the Warriors have a shot? Are they gonna win?
I don't even know anymore. I think the Clippers have pardon the pun, they've probably righted their ship and look more poised to win than the Warriors do at this point.
Yeah, but they also look like Chris Paul is such like a dominating like personality on that team that like when he's not right, it seems like guys are kind of like looking at each other like, what do we do? Almost.
Yeah.
Like it's not that they're lost. I mean, they're still good players, but it's like they're like he is such like they have such like focused in like he controls that team like when what they do on the floor so much, and he's like hurt. I mean, he's hurt. He's banged up. He's got the thumb now. He's got what a hamstring thing going on. Like he's banged up. His shoulder. He's been wearing like shoulder pads like a football player all year. I don't know. I think the Warriors might win it. And I think Mark Jackson knows that if he wins, it's going to be really hard to fire him, and I don't think he wants to go anywhere. But maybe I'm wrong, but I think that he's going to keep doing his thing where they go so ridiculous. Like Harrison Barnes is playing center, which was weird. How weird was that? I've never seen that before. The 6'7" guy's the tallest guy on your. I mean, that's some college stuff. Like that's like Missouri.
That's some 20. That's some 20. I can't remember what year. It's 2011 or 2012 in the basketball shit, where the tallest guy on the team was 6'8".
Really, dude? Really?
I was going to say it's more like Don Nelson when Don Nelson was coaching.
Well, but even Don Nelson, maybe he at least had like a 6'10" guy.
Probably.
But
But
dude,
a 6'10" guy with absolutely no inside skill. It would be like
Right.
It would be like Troy Murphy, who all he was good for is making like an 18-foot jump shot.
it would be DeAndre Jordan, who you put a 6'7" guy on DeAndre Jordan, and he's apparently so bad at offense that you don't give it to him when Harrison Barnes is guarding him. Like they just had straight up Harrison Barnes checking DeAndre Jordan, and he didn't even touch the ball. That was weird.
What was even more confusing than that was like they'd have somebody that was also about 6'7" guarding Blake Griffin, and they wouldn't give it to Blake Griffin inside either.
Blake was having a tough night. He had a
Yeah,
tough
and
game
then he
6.
fouled out early too. So
Well, that was another thing, is a lot of big names have gotten into foul trouble throughout this series, and Game 6 especially.
yeah,
Like David Lee was out with like 10 minutes left in the fourth. Klay Thompson, didn't he have some foul trouble too? Game 6, or am I thinking of a Game 5?
wait, who else you
I
said?
don't
David?
recall either.
Didn't Klay have some foul trouble too? Game 6?
No, that was probably Game 5.
Yeah, no, yeah. I think you're right. I think I was wrong on that.
I think Game 6 was Lee, Griffin, Paul, and DeAndre Jordan had foul trouble too. Because
Do
the
you
refs
know?
apparently think that everybody is watching that series to watch an officiating exhibition,
Yeah,
and not even a good one either.
Right. I don't know. That's weird. I think the Clips are gonna pull it out, but man, we still haven't had that game where Steph and Clay both hit like 6 threes. You know, we haven't had that game yet, and I'm nervous. If I were a Clippers fan, I would be nervous about that more than anything.
I think.
That this is gonna
Speaking
be
of that, I
night.
think I'd be more nervous about. I'd be more nervous about that if I'm the Clippers with Chris Paul not being 100% in their offense, because I think they have Jamal Crawford that could just go off and
Right.
pretty much make up for the fact that Chris Paul isn't 100%. But you're not going to have Jamal Crawford guarding Steph Curry or Klay Thompson if they're going off and expect to be able to slow them down realistically.
Yeah. And how did Draymond Green fall to the second round, by the way? Like, dude, he was doing the same stuff he's doing now in college. Like, it's not like he's, like, a better player now or anything. Like, he was doing the same exact stuff.
Because people didn't think he'd be able to do it in the NBA, I think is what it was.
Ugh, that's so stupid. And I mean, not that I'm sitting here saying that I'm, like, right on every prospect. My batting average on, like, prospects is, well, in football more than basketball. Basketball is, I can see it better, but I don't know. My batting average isn't very good, but I mean, I knew Draymond Green was good at playing basketball. Like,
Well,
I
you've
think,
seen him for a little bit.
right. And I mean, I'm sure NBA scouts watched more of him than I did. I just was like I'm like a casual like Big Ten fan because my favorite team plays there. So I don't understand like if you're like pick number 25. I mean, what value are you getting at 25 that isn't? You know what I mean? Like, why not just be like, this guy was really good in college. It's not like he's going to forget how to play basketball when he gets to the pros.
He might.
Who does, though? Like, there's a lot of guys that are good in college because they're the best player on their team, so they look better. But he was just, like, good. Like, he was good at playing basketball. Like, you don't lose that ability. You don't lose the ability to be good at basketball. You can be overwhelmed, but I mean, what's going on over there? This is this ship thing, man? It's literally
I
sounds.
don't know what you're hearing. I'm not hearing it, and it's.
I'm hearing something too.
Sounds like we're on
And
a
now
ship.
I thought I dropped out for a second.
Is it me?
Probably.
I have no clue.
I don't know what it would be.
Either way, we're getting off track. I think
Speaking
the Clippers win tonight, but I mean, dude, these series are so close. Unreal. But
Speaking of the Draymond Green draft, the Warriors also got Harrison Barnes and Festus Ezeli, who hasn't played yet this year because of his knee injury, but they got two of those guys. I believe they got Ezeli in the second round too, and that probably is just about one of the more underrated draft classes from 2 years ago at this point.
yeah,
I think.
wow, that's a good draft. I mean, in the NBA, if you hit on one, you're lucky. Like, that's pretty good. That's 3 playable roster spots. You know, that's 3 rotation guys on any team, really. All right, moving on. What series should we go? There's so many Game 7s that I don't even know what to do with myself. Ryan, you go ahead. You go ahead and pick what series you want to talk about.
Do I want to saddle you up with Hawks Pacers?
I'm not talking about. You guys can talk about. No, I mean honestly, what Roy Hibbert is the worst at everything. He's awful. Can someone? What happened to him?
He got thunderstruck.
But who wanted Roy Hibbert's skills? Like who was like who was like, oh, I want to play like that guy. I want to protect the rim.
I would take Roy Hibbert's skills at this point. I suck, so.
Dude, I bet you're better than Roy Hibbert is right now.
Maybe at this point, I don't know. We could probably average the same amount of rebounds, and I'm 5'7", so
0. You could probably
average 0. Yeah. I can average 0 pretty damn quickly.
I can get out there and get you 0 rebounds.
Pretty sure that's my lifetime average.
That's true. You and Roy Hibbert have the same lifetime playoff rebounding average right now.
Oh, we'll throw it down to for a real series. We'll throw it down
one more point. Well, one more point before I move on. Now that you got me going on this, if Frank Vogel starts Roy Hibbert today, if I'm Larry Bird, I'm walking down there and I'm.
Should he not even make it to halftime?
No, not even. He's not.
The game.
If I'm Larry Bird, I'm sitting there and I hear the
No, I'm talking Frank Vogel.
At center, Roy Hibbert. I'm walking down there and I'm telling Frank like kick rocks, bud. Like kick rocks. I'll coach this game. You're out of here. What? Well, I don't know. What do you see? What? Who? You can't be worried about feelings right now, man. You know, it's not like we got to keep Roy engaged. Oh man, it's Game 7. You lose, you're going home. In every game, they're starting in like a 12-0 hole. I'm telling Frank to kick rocks. I'm telling Vogel to just leave. Don't even get your stuff. We're keeping your stuff. Just leave.
That's ours now.
Yeah. Your desk toys are ours now. Your plaque. Your plaque.
Your wife and children are in the arena. That's tough luck.
They're ours. They are mine.
And you know what? We just had your car towed too because you were in my parking spot because I'm the head coach now.
Yeah, you were illegally parked, bud. So we towed your car. Take the bus home to whatever place you live in, whatever terrible basketball dungeon that you are currently in.
Could the entire state of Indiana be worse at basketball this year?
I don't. They must be losing their damn minds, man. What do they even? I mean, Andrew Luck is literally the only thing that they have to be thinking about.
Yeah, I mean, what else do they have to look forward to? Hoosiers suck. Pacers suck.
Purdue sucked.
Purdue's
always
awful
suck.
In general.
They're all
Notre Dame's the worst. Yeah. Sorry, Indiana. My neighbor to the right. You know what I love are the Indiana people who there is sections of Indiana that consider themselves Chicago suburbs. You know that's a fact.
Oh God.
Well, I mean it is really close. Like from where I live, from my home, my Chicago home, Indiana's like a 25-minute drive to get to the border. Like it's right there. It's not far. But I mean, if you live in Indiana,
I guess there's
Aren't there-
some. I guess there's parts of Missouri and Iowa that are considered Omaha suburbs, but I don't think of
No.
those as.
Doesn't count.
It doesn't count.
Aren't
They're
there
in a different
people like
state.
southern Indiana too that consider themselves like part of Kentucky?
They're all super close.
You know what? I guess I'm.
It always kind of blows my mind that Indiana and Kentucky are border states.
You know what? Now that we're on this subject, this is kind of getting way
God.
off track. I was looking at a
Very.
map when I saw that. What map was it? Well, it was some like graphic. It was some like stat. I can't think of it. But I didn't realize. I mean, like if you put a map in front of me, I could name all 50 states. But
Yeah.
I didn't realize like how north Arkansas was. Is that weird? Is that weird that I didn't?
It's borders with Missouri.
Yeah. Why is that? Why did I not like think that?
I mean,
don't-
I get where you're coming from. Did you
It's like-
also realize that Did you also realize that Alaska wasn't in a little square by Hawaii? It's actually by.
On that note, let's move on to like an actual basketball series.
Yeah, sorry. I noticed that, and I've never vocalized it since I noticed it, and you got me thinking about it. Whatever.
If we go with
Yeah.
Ryan's boy against Dallas.
Yeah. Let's yeah, we could do that. Let's talk about that.
Under Grizz.
Or no, not Dallas.
Well, they
Yeah.
finally sat down Kendrick Perkins and at
Well,
least in the starting lineup.
I don't think it's gonna. I mean, Conley's hurt. Tony Allen's even hurt now. Zebo's suspended, which is weird.
Zebo's out,
I don't know about that.
which he shouldn't be. Let's be honest, he shouldn't be
Yeah,
suspended.
he punched Steven Adams in the throat. That's
Calling it a punch is pretty.
I'm gonna
A lot of leeway.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Zebo's.
Adams in the throat. How about that?
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Zebo knows how to punch somebody. I'm just gonna say Zach Randolph's
Yeah.
been in his fair share of scuffles throughout his life. So I think that he knew. Like I think that it wasn't like he just doesn't know how to punch. I think like he knew he wasn't throwing a punch. So
But at the same time, it was close enough that the NBA is probably going to do something about it.
Yes,
yeah,
but
okay.
I still don't. I don't agree with it.
I don't either.
I
It's
think
like it's killing the
that's
integrity of Game 7. It's like if they
Yeah.
would have suspended Paul George.
Well, I don't want them to make a decision like based just on solely on the fact that it's Game 7 because that's
do.
not
Why
what
not?
you do. Well, as a fan, you want to, but as a league,
Right.
you can't.
I know.
But
I don't care about them.
Speaking of the Zebo knows how to punch someone, did you see that Meta World Peace sent out a tweet that said James Harden hasn't been the same since, and he tweeted a photo of his elbow?
Stop! No,
He kind of hasn't. He kind of hasn't.
If you, for other people listening, if you don't follow Ron Artest on Twitter, you are, and you don't, or if
I
you just
don't.
don't have a Twitter, you don't follow Ron Artest?
I don't.
Dude, he's the best. He like says I'm done tweeting, and then like
See,
tweets like 15
I
minutes
was just-
later. Like
I was just clearing
crazy.
out my like follows the other day, and I was debating on whether to get rid of like Shaq and Jose Canseco because like they don't ever tweet anything I want to read, but then it's like at the same time I like to be entertained.
Speaking of entertainment, real quick, we're gonna get back to basketball in a second, but Mike Epps and Kevin Hart had a Twitter beef going on yesterday, and it was
Oh, God.
super awesome. So I'd recommend checking that out.
It was very good.
So back to basketball.
Back to basketball.
Mr. Unreliable himself, Kevin Durant, had himself a game.
Oh boy. I don't know why. I don't know what the deal is with the Oklahoman. I don't live in Oklahoma. I don't read the Oklahoman often, obviously, because it's not my paper. But what is your? Well, I know what their play is. They're trying to sell papers. But
Right.
still.
Yeah, I was about to say I know exactly why they did it because.
But I just don't get the viewpoint where people were like, yeah, that's an okay thing to print.
Well, it was only the one. Like I've through like hearing people talk about it.
Well,
It's one guy. It's just the editor that makes that choice. It's no
Yeah.
one. You know, it's not.
And don't get me wrong, Kevin has been disappointing in this series, but not just because he's playing bad. He hasn't had a chance. He's getting zero space. Let's be honest. Tony Allen's playing great on
Yeah.
him.
Sure.
He's playing the best defense that's ever played on Kevin
I mean,
Durant.
Durant
And they're
didn't
not-
play well through 5 games.
They they double team him off the ball. He can't get open.
No,
So-
listen, I completely get it. But I mean, he just wasn't playing well. I mean, that's really all. That's
Well,
all
I
it comes
mean,
down to.
It's a double whammy. He's not playing well, and Memphis is playing very well on him.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, you're Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
You got to be like, give me the
Well-
fucking ball, get the hell.
Well,
it's
he
like-
did that. He did it in Game 6.
And then look what happened. And Westbrook like chilled the hell out and played like a point guard.
Yeah.
That was weird.
Well,
weird.
the
Russell.
problem.
Weird.
That's the thing with Westbrook is that when Durant isn't playing well, then Russell, I don't want to say panics, but he feels like he has to
Do
take
it
on
all.
both responsibilities.
Right.
Yeah, he feels he has to take over, pick up Durant's slack, and that's not it at all. He just has to be him.
Right. Well, it's I mean, it's a tough spot. It literally is a two-man offense. I liked Brooks' move
Yeah.
of taking Cephalosha out of the starting lineup. That was nice.
Did he sit Perkins on Game 6?
Perkins was well. They need Perkins in this series.
Did he?
Sadly
But
enough,
did he not start him?
I think he started. I'm almost positive he started. But
I
he
know it's
started Butler.
Ron Butler.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the point was that I think they had maybe Perkins wasn't playing as many minutes. But basically, when Perkins is on the floor, they don't guard him. They just put 2 on Durant.
Yeah, they weren't guarding Cephalosha either.
So if you put Butler out there, they have to guard him.
Right. That's the point.
So Kevin can get open.
It's funny that it took Scott Brooks 5 games to realize that, though.
It took Scott Brooks 5 games to realize to play small against Miami, and by then it was a 30-point lead in Game 5, and it was over.
Yeah, no, he's the worst. He's awful. Got to get rid of him.
See, that's what I said. Is if losing this series meant we got rid of Scott Brooks,
I think I
would
don't know.
hope that they would lose, but I just don't think they'll pull the trigger on him.
I think they will. I hope they will.
Well,
I feel like Presti is tired of hearing.
Yeah.
I think it's like fatigue. Like it's like when
he's gonna make him
hear
spend
something, you want to be stubborn and you want to stick by your guns, right?
Yeah.
But then if you keep hearing it for years, like say I had frosted tips, okay, say I had blonde highlights in my hair, but you know what? I was like, all right, I'm doing it. Like this is what I am now. This is me. I'm just gonna stick with it. I'm just gonna keep doing it. And if I hear some doubters, some haters, whatever, brush it off. But if for 3 years I keep doing these frosted tips and I keep hearing the same thing over and over again, eventually it's just going to be fatigue. And you know what I'm going to say? Maybe the frosted tips isn't such a good idea. Maybe Scott Brooks isn't the right.
Playing off that beautiful analogy, I think maybe, and also what will factor into Sam Presti's decision making is the fact that he took a lot of heat for the way the James Harden situation went down. So if he can make a move and get a big time coach down here that'll take Oklahoma City to the next level and get him an NBA title, that James Harden thing will never be brought up ever again.
Right. Oh yeah. Well, once they win a title, no one's going to care. But until then, it's a big deal. By the way, I just want to ask: Did either of you go through a frosted tips phase when you were younger?
I did not.
You can be honest.
I did not.
Neither of you jumped that? Come on, I was all over that. I went
on that
at
bandwagon.
two separate occasions I had frosted tips. Well, not really frosted tips. I just had blonde like highlights. Two separate occasions, man. I was all about that. I guess no response to that.
No, I don't got anything on
that. So, I mean, I think
Facebook to see if there's pictures.
No, I don't think I don't think there's any evidence of it. But it did happen.
Story.
I'm not gonna back away. I had some blonde highlights in my hair, man. Everybody was doing it. Like it's not like I was the only one. It's not like I was like, oh, this is gonna look cool. Everyone's gonna do it with me. Like I was doing it because everyone was doing it. So back to basketball. I think
who do you think takes it tonight? Do you think?
I think the Thunder win because if Conley's not 100% and Zebo's out. It's like,
Well, yeah, that's just it. They're down 3 players. I think that tilts it in the Thunder's favor.
but I mean, even if Zebo was out, if Conley was 100%, I'd still give the Grizzlies a shot. I mean, Conley runs that team. As much as they're big man oriented, I mean, Conley
Well, I think Conley's gonna give it a go.
But giving it a go and being like, hamstrings are no joke. Have you ever had a hamstring?
No, yeah,
Doesn't
I have.
There's no like magical, bean that you can eat to get rid of a hamstring injury like there is for other stuff.
Yeah.
There's no, you can't really like numb your entire hamstring.
But I would say just having the rhythm of having him out there might help more than if they just didn't play him at all. You know what I mean?
I mean, I guess, yeah, sure. I mean, his presence would definitely. It's like Chris Paul. I mean, Chris Paul's obviously not 100%, but his presence steers the ship. His hand on the steering wheel is important. But no, I think Memphis just kind of got screwed over with luck. I think.
What was this about? I thought it said Tony Allen. Oh yeah, he has a swollen eye and is questionable as well. If he's out there,
I didn't realize that was like that lingered, but I remember when that happened. He got like smacked in the face, and the best part was in total Tony Allen style. It didn't like. I don't even think he like in the moment. It didn't like deter him from anything. He just kind of made like a squishy face, but kept playing like with his eyes closed. It was weird. Yeah, I think Thunder win. The Thunder win, and then they celebrate because they're done playing the Grizzlies. Like they're just so over these dudes.
I'm tired of the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
Can we never play the Grizzlies again? I mean, it's good for
Seriously.
basketball and it's good for Oklahoma City because now we kind of have a little rivalry with them. But
I think
I'm tired of the Grizzlies. I never want to play them ever again.
I think that the NBA should make a rule where Zebo, Marc Gasol, like this Grizzlies team gets to stay together forever to just be a thorn in the Western. Like for one team a year, it's just the hardest thing that they'll have to do in their lives.
I can't remember who sent the tweet out, but it was like something like if NBA playoff series were based on like competition, Bobcats Heat would be best of 1, and Thunder Grizzlies would be best of 18 or 17.
Yes. All these West series, like every single one of them, have been amazing. Like I think it was LeBron. I think it was LeBron that said like there's no seeds in the West. It's just 8 really good teams, which is true.
But this series especially, I mean, when was the last time we had 4 straight overtime games?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, it's crazy. Here's a question for both of you. Is there a single Eastern Conference team you would take in a series besides Miami over any of these Western teams?
That are actually in the playoffs?
Yeah, any of like 2 through 8 in the East. Would you take any of them over 1 through 8 in the West?
Not the way the Pacers are playing, absolutely not. And the only other one I'd give a nod to is maybe Washington.
But I'm not taking them in a 7-game series against the Mavericks. Chris, are you taking any Eastern Conference team over any of the Western Conference teams?
Not the way they're playing right now, I don't think.
That's crazy. Do you realize how crazy that is? That 1 through 8 in the West is better than the number 2 in the East? Yeah.
I guess this would be as good a time as any. The other night I asked somebody, I was like, I wonder if you put LeBron in the Heat in the West and put Oklahoma City in the East, would it be like totally role reversal at this point?
Durant would average 45 a game.
No, but I mean like in the playoffs. Like would Oklahoma City be the one going for a 3-peat right now?
No, because Miami still would have made their way through the West, I think. The last couple of years, Miami still would have made their way through the West.
That's tough. That's tough to say.
They might have made their way through the West, but it would have been a lot tougher to do it, wouldn't it have been?
And that's the thing.
Not the last couple of years because they still had the Pacers series last year that went 7 games.
But
the East is just historically bad this year, and the West is just historically good.
I don't know, but the thing is with the Heat is they're the most legendary. Like their on-off switch is unreal. Like they choose when So I think that if they were in the West and they were still pulling this stuff, like the we want to show up sometimes stuff, they wouldn't fly in the West at all. Their whole like too cool for school mantra would not.
Yeah.
It wouldn't fly over there.
I
Straight
get
up.
what Ryan means with the Pacers like taking him to 7 games, but it would like legitimately be possible that they could have like 3 7-game series before the finals if they were in the West, especially this year.
And don't forget what happened in Game 7 of that, by the way. The Pacers, the Heat won by like 50. Like, it was a blowout. Yeah. Like, that's when the Heat were like, okay, now we have to play for real, which I hate. I wish they would just play for real all the time. They're the worst. I don't want to even talk about them because this is a good vibes Heat Check podcast, not stupid idiot Heat stuff.
Let's talk some tomorrow Game 7s.
Stupid idiot Heat stuff.
We got Nets Raptors and Mavs Spurs tomorrow on deck. Game 7s as well.
We get Toronto on ABC tomorrow for like probably the first time ever.
The Bobcats just
could be wrong on that, but
I mean, no, I don't know. You're probably not. It's so tough for me to pick the Raptors in that game, even being at home.
Because they've both looked so like. Just at times they've looked like Toronto's looked like, okay, they've got control of the series, and then they go out and they do nothing, and it's like, okay, now Brooklyn has control of the series, and now you don't know who has control of the series because
wait.
Toronto's going to close it out Friday night.
Wait, time out. I'm watching MLB Network right now, and they just showed the Lillard shot. Like, they're still showing this. This is MLB Network. Why are they
It's the best. It infiltrates all sports.
Dude, seriously. Why? What? That's crazy.
Are they trying to make an argument for why Portland should have a baseball team?
I don't know what that. Well, they're showing a Houston. Oh, you know why? Because they're showing the Astros Seattle game, and so it's the Houston feed. So they're probably like, this is what. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Okay, figure it out. Back to basketball. Sorry. Yeah, like you said, it's like they both look so good and they both look so bad. I gotta go with the experience, man. Game 7, I have to go with it's so tough for me to pick the Raptors.
That's the way I want to lean, but for some reason I just think I need to pick the Raptors.
See, I'm the opposite. Like, I really want to, like, I feel like I really want to be able to say that the Raptors are going to win.
Who moves on to... Does the winner of this move on to play Washington?
No, they play Miami, which is why I want the Nets to win. Like, I'm so mad at myself for wanting the Nets to win, but that's how badly I want.
Because you want to see
to lose.
Pierce and all them Garnett.
Well, I think it's not even about like the Pierce and Garnett thing. I think the matchup thing with the Nets over the Nets against the Heat, the Nets can switch on everything. Everything. Yeah. They're switching on literally everything.
If Miami has a chance to lose a series before the finals, it'd be against Brooklyn.
Yeah, I'm completely taking the Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett nonsense out of the equation. I mean, dude, literally Brooklyn, like the way the Heat beat people is they run those pick and rolls and have LeBron. I mean, they beat people because they have LeBron, but they run the pick and rolls and they get the defense scrambling. And LeBron is such a good passer that he'll always be able to figure out which of the other 4 guys are open. He's just that good. But if you can switch on everything, because that's what the Spurs were doing them last year. They were able to they just kind of sagged off and said, I dare you to shoot that 17-footer. You don't want to at all. Like, he doesn't want to. He loves having a high shooting percentage, and he does not want to take those shots. And the Spurs were just like, okay, shoot 50 of those. We don't care. We're just going to lay off. And they were switching. They were just going through like Kawhi, Morris D, how they were all able to play him, and I think Brooklyn can do that. In terms of they'll like 4 of those guys on the court can guard LeBron at any time. Even if you throw Darren Williams on him, he's got enough like veteran guile in him to like be able to make a play. You know,
Yeah.
But we're getting ahead of ourselves.
We are
These
very much
Raptors.
so.
And it's like, you'll play at like this happens to me all the time. I'll be playing at a park, and a guy's like more athletic than me and like faster than me. But like I'm sitting there thinking like it doesn't matter. Like I know I'm winning. Like I'm gonna beat you. Like I'm just better at basketball than you. I think that's what is gonna be tonight. Maybe. It's so tough. Like I hate saying the Raptors aren't gonna win at home. But I don't know. I think the Nets are gonna win.
I think that the Nets will win, but I feel I have to pick Toronto. I don't know. Maybe it's I don't know why. I'm going with Toronto, I guess. I hope that, obviously, for the sake of wanting Miami to lose, if Brooklyn wins, there's no bad way this will end.
Because I like this Raptors team.
Yeah, exactly. I do. I want them to succeed. I want a Raptors Wizards Eastern Finals.
Silver doesn't want that. Or I was about to say Stern. Yeah, Stern doesn't want that either. Actually, now that I think about it. Chris, to break the tie here. Who's winning tonight or that game?
I don't know either. I want to say Toronto might take advantage of the home crowd, but at the same time, I've seen the home court not really matter in that series either.
No, it hasn't mattered all year.
Well, that's because
any
the Brooklyn
series.
fans aren't very good.
Well, I'm just saying, just in general, these playoffs, home court doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Don't road teams have a better record than home
Well,
teams?
the first day of the playoffs, every road team but one won.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I think it was like Tuesday was the first time all the home teams won, or something, or like Wednesday or something like that. It was the first time all the home teams won, which is usually how it goes. It's usually like the home teams win.
Yeah.
If it goes 7, it's usually because 2-2, 1-1, and then game 7.
Exactly. It's not how it's gone in this playoffs. These playoffs, man. I tell you what.
Hashtag these playoffs for real. I think that the home court thing is overblown, especially in this series, because it's not like there's not going to be any jitters on the Nets side.
Exactly.
They know what's going on.
They're not going to get rattled.
Every single player besides Allen Anderson.
I guess it's just specified on that. I wasn't saying that necessarily that the home team will win it for Toronto, but I think Toronto has a much better chance of winning it because they're at home than they were in Brooklyn.
Okay, no, I get what you're saying. By the way, can somebody tell me where Allen Anderson came from? Did he go to college? Did he just get was he like a randomly generated created player? Like where did he come from? He's the most generic basketball player in the history of basketball. Right? Am I crazy? But even Mike Scott's got something. He has those lame. He's the only dude in the league with lamer tattoos than Mike Miller. That's what Mike Scott has going for him.
Ugh.
But Allen Anderson does nothing. What is he? Did he go? His name's Allen Anderson. A. B. He's got like generic like beard 4 on the created player screen. He's like number like 8. Like he's like a boring number. Like he's like 6'7", 215. Like the most generic basketball player of all time.
Think of a really boring birth date.
Yeah, like
no, think of one. Come up with a really
March
boring birth
18th.
Date. Damn it! I was really hoping you'd say October 16th.
Why is that your birthday?
That's his birthday.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Did he? You want to know how boring he is, Brian? Or Brian, do you want to know how boring he is?
Yeah, tell me more. He has no tattoos. He's nothing. What is he?
He played at Michigan State for 4 years.
No, he didn't.
What?
Yes.
How do I not know that? No, he did not. The Michigan State or like Michigan Tech State?
The Michigan State from 2001 to 2005.
He's that old?
Yes.
He was.
No. Where? What? Are you on his like Wikipedia page, right? Could you give me the lineup of his like NBA teams, please?
He played for,
I got it.
Ready? The Tulsa 66ers.
Ready? I got it for you.
Yeah.
05 to 06, he was undrafted out of Michigan State.
Of course he
05
was.
to 06, Charlotte. 06 to 07, Tulsa 66ers in the D League. 07, Charlotte Bobcats. 07 to 08, he was overseas playing for Virtuous Bologna. 2008, Triumph Lyubertsy. 2008-2009, KKC, but this is all overseas. Then in 2010, he came back to the D League with New Mexico Thunderbirds. Then in 10-11, he was with FC Barcelona. Apparently, he had a little FIFA kick in him. I'm not an idiot. I know what FC Barcelona has a basketball team. 11-12, he was over in China playing for the Shandong Lions.
Was he with Marbury over there?
I don't know. 2012, back in the D League with the Canton Charge. 2012-2013. Oh, little interesting note here. He was with the Raptors, and now he's with the Nets.
Hey, now. See?
He won the Spanish League MVP in 2011.
No,
and
he
the
didn't.
Croatian MVP
No, he
in 2009.
That's
Yes,
made
he
up.
did.
That's made up.
Just did.
Like he put that on his own Wikipedia page because he knows that you're the first person to look him up. That's why.
Let's see.
I mean, like
he was
and
all
like,
Big Ten.
No, he wasn't.
Yes,
No,
he was.
I don't believe you.
Yeah.
And like
He averaged 13.2 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists a game. All Big
the
Ten.
most generic
Also,
stat line ever.
He was one of those Final Four players. Went to the 05 Final Four. And he was voted the team's MVP. Who the fuck was on the 05 Michigan State team where he was the MVP?
Was that the Jason Richardson team?
No.
Did he win team MVP over Jason Richardson?
No, God, no. And like the Nets are like black and white, so like there's no color. Like he's literally just a creative player, dude. He's nothing.
It's on the generic team, man.
That's seriously. He's like the guy. He's like the players on like the Legends.
He's the Legends
teams.
team that they couldn't get the rights for, so it's like
So
number
he wears
99.
number 98.
Allen Anderson. Michael Jordan being sub for Allen
roster
Anderson. You're like, no, fuck that.
roster player, dude. Roster player.
Can I point out one more humorous thing about his Wikipedia page before you move on somewhere else? Anywhere else?
Please, I want to know everything about this guy.
His pro career section includes a section on his return to the NBA D League and return to Europe.
Oh my God! Return to the D League, D League legend Allen Anderson. Good God! And now he's getting 38 minutes a game in Game 7 of the play. It makes no freaking sense at all.
All right. We better move on to Dallas and wrap this here pretty soon.
Yeah, Dallas Spurs, and then we'll get the hell out of here. No generic players on either of these teams. We know all the characters in this story. I can't believe this was 7. Like I wrote about it after the. No, go ahead.
This just goes to show you the depth of the West.
Really,
Best team
seriously.
make the first best team to 7.
Like now that I'm like thinking about it, like it really doesn't, because like every player on the Mavericks knows how to win in the playoffs. Like they know what it takes, you know.
And they know how to beat San Antonio.
Yeah, they've all been through the battles, so it's like.
Well, that's what helps is when we were talking about the Nets with experience. Go through the West, and that's why this round is so good. You have so many teams who have just done this year in and year out.
Yeah, they're battle tested.
Like every team has been in the playoffs at least the last couple years.
Right. There's no upstarts.
And the Clippers and Warriors, if you take them out, then everyone from the past, and the Thunder, I guess, from the past decade or so.
Yeah. Well, the Rockets are new, but they're like.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, both stars on the Rockets have been to the finals.
Well, yeah, and the Trailblazers are the only upstart, and they've had like a year's experience.
And they have Damian Lillard, so they don't.
And they have Damian Lillard, so
they don't care about anything that we have to say at all because.
Care, Damian Lillard.
Yeah. I think the Spurs win by like 10. But I've been wrong about everything, so.
I don't think the Spurs have a I can't think of the word I want to use. Have this habit of losing a first game series they really should win, but I don't think they do it this time. I think they have Dallas's full. I think they have the full attention to Dallas. They know what Dallas can do. And I think they come out and win the game by 10 or 15.
And then they gotta play Then they got to play Portland next round.
Yeah. Oh man.
God, what an awesome! Jesus Christ. We'll have Spurs, Portland, and then what? Probably Clippers.
The Clippers Thunder or Warriors Thunder.
Oh.
Even if it's Clippers Grizzlies. My God.
Right, exactly. Man, what? How blessed?
There's no downside to these playoffs, everyone.
Thank you, basketball gods, for this one. You know, you've been a real asshole to me with
We didn't even
Derrick Rose
mention
and everything,
in the Oklahoma City Memphis thing. It depends on if Lil B says his
That's true.
does his voodoo tonight on Kevin Durant.
That's true.
Lil B's in Katie's head.
What you know? What Lil B's probably gonna do? He's like right before game time. He's gonna come out with a song. He's gonna release a song called "Mr. Unreliable." That's what he's gonna do.
That'd
Or
be
just
great.
actually like he's gonna release like 100-song mixtape because that's what Lil B does.
I love
The
you,
whole
Lil B.
mixtape.
I remember when Lil B was like hitting it big, and I was like, so we like this because of the irony in it, right?
Yeah, like he was one of those guys
we don't
where
think
like
this is actually-
we're all kidding, right? Like,
we don't. This isn't
then-
actually good. We're just
but
kidding
then
about this, right?
you see videos of people at his concert, dude, and like these guys literally like think of him as a god. Like they're just
Thank you,
handing-
bass guy.
Yes, they're like literally just handing their girlfriends to him and letting him dry hump them, and they're just like showering in it, like it's the greatest moment of their lives.
I will thank Lil B. Thank you, bass god is in my vocabulary every day. I say thank you, bass god all the time.
Anyways, I don't think the Mavericks win, but I think that's just because like I think the Spurs are better, straight up. I think that's really what it comes down to.
They're better, and they have the home court, and even though they're not.
Yeah. It's gonna be a good game,
they
though.
have the advantage.
It's not gonna be like a blowout.
Yeah, I think what's impressed me most about Dallas in the series is it's not Dirk doing it. They've got them all around.
His first good game.
Exactly, and that has to give him a lot of hope.
Monte like got reined in. Carlisle's. I don't understand how he keeps getting like looked over as like the best coach.
God, I hope he comes to coaches Oklahoma City.
I don't. It's not gonna happen. Dallas isn't. Cuban is no. There's 0% chance Cuban ever lets him go. Like if I'm the Lakers right now, I'm saying, dude, $10 million a year. Come coach us. I'll pay you $10 million a year. I mean, that's like I don't understand why he's amazing. He's an unreal coach. Props to Carlisle. If the question was, would I rather have him or Thibodeau? I don't know the answer to that. I just hypotheticaled myself. And now I don't know the answer to my own hypothetical. That's classic. That's a classic move.
Do you think that Brett Bielema and Tom Thibodeau's biological parents are sad that they put him up for adoption?
No, I don't think so. Because one's an asshole and one's a likable asshole.
They're the same people.
You really think so?
The only thing that's different about him is the voice. And even then, it's not that different.
Oh, I'm Tom Thibodeau.
I have to disagree with that. There's absolutely nothing likable about Bielema.
I liked him when he was...
Well, yeah, he's likable if he's on your team.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, he recruited Monty Ball, so...
He's an asshole, but he's our asshole.
Right, it's like that type of thing. But then as soon as he's not your asshole, it's just like, that guy sucks.
We'll never forget you, Bert.
Yeah, you know...
doubted by perception of his wife, too.
What is the... Yeah, she's a whack job.
Hashtag karma.
Is there true or false to this? Christian Bale got his Batman voice after listening to Tom Thibodeau speak.
Tom Thibodeau? Oh, God.
True or false?
True.
Where is she?
That's Thibodeau. That's what he sounds like.
Harvey Dent. Derrick Rose.
Like it's the same thing.
Two things that are never coming back.
What? Come on, man. Come on. All right. I'm out of here. You end this. You do everything. I'm done.
All right.
I'm off you now.
Brian's out.
We're officially not cool. Like officially.
This wraps up the third heat check of the Are We Recording podcast. As always, follow us on Twitter at AWR Podcast. Come check out our blog. There's some fun things written on there. arewerecordingblog.wordpress.com. Also, Derek Rose is never coming back.
Dude, come on. Dude, I am so mad at you. I'm like literally like at my iPad. I'm done.
We're cutting it off before the second Nebraska call start out of the podcast.
No, I'm so mad right now. I'm over it. I'm over it.
Oh, man.
I'm gonna watch this Astros Mariners.
All right.
You're an asshole.
Okay, we're out. Enjoy the playoffs.
Wait, real quick, by the way, if Houston's managerial equipment guy is listening to this, don't ever wear those orange hats again. Go ahead.
I'm sure he is. All right. Enjoy the playoffs, everyone. We're out of here.